I recently finished playing through the most recent addition to the Hitman franchise, and I gotta say, I'm very impressed. This was my first Hitman game, and now I'm kind of regretting that. I really want to go back and play some of the others, but I'm not sure that I will be able to enjoy it as much knowing what a great version this one was. Now, if you, like me, hadn't played any of the other Hitman games in the franchise, then this review will likely help you more than for some of those who have played a lot of Hitman games in the past and want to see how much of an improvement this one has made. I won't be able to comment on that. I'll just have to look at it as what the game is as is right now. And what it is right now is an amazing game, well worth your time. Spoiler alert for the review, if you haven't played this game, go pick up the full Game of the Year edition on Steam. It is well worth your money. But first, let me tell you why. This game is one of the most unique takes on a stealth game I've ever played. Your character feels so overpowered with their ability to just kill anybody at any time, knock them out. Like, you can do anything. Your character is tough as nails, takes tons of bullets to kill, and you just power through. The real challenge comes in is doing all of this, killing who you need to, undetected, which is where the stealth mechanics really come in and shine. If you can get your character alone with your target, they're dead. Like, you'll kill them no problem. That's not the challenge. The challenge is setting things up and manipulating the world around you to get to those situations. The ability to sneak, I think, works really well. It's quite simple. You can crouch to try to remain undetected, hide behind cover, and try to avoid and stay out of line of sight of enemies and other NPCs. I think this works really well and lends itself to the type of gameplay, even if they let you get away with a little bit more than you should just for the sake of fun. I really appreciate that. The interaction between random NPCs, being able to take them down, knock them out unconscious, and hide their bodies so that you remain undetected is compelling and an interesting challenge, and the mechanics work well. I mean, sometimes you'll be taking down a target, and because it takes a set amount of time to take them down, somebody might walk in the room right as you're doing that, ruining your entire plan, forcing you to improvise. Or, if you've scheduled enough time, you've worked carefully, you take them down, no problem, hide their bodies, and maybe even get their outfit and pretend to be them. Speaking of disguises, they are loads of fun to play with in Hitman. You can work your way through, there's loads of them, and some of them quite unique actually, to put on your guy, and they give you access to new areas. It's a very interesting way to kind of open up different areas of the level based on what you have. You can go anywhere, but you'll find it a lot easier if you're wearing a particular outfit. Now, even if you have the correct outfit, certain NPCs will notice if you're not one of their group. I love this mechanic, the ability of being able to sneak around, get an outfit that will allow you access to certain areas, but not everybody will let you slide by. There'll be some that recognize that you're someone suspicious, so you have to sneak around them while remaining undetected with the rest of the group. I love that, creating a great mix of infiltration as well as stealth mechanics. Perfect. In addition to these mechanics, there are tons of interactable objects, including weapons, handheld items, bombs, coins, keys, all sorts of shit for you to interact with and use to gain different access to different areas, use to kill people, to take out enemies, whatever. Each of these things feels incredibly handcrafted, like somebody spent just their development time working on this interaction, and there's loads of them. They reuse them, yeah, but there's so many unique interactions for all these different things and ways to implement them. It feels like they spent a lot of time handcrafting this stuff. Incredible. Each of the levels are moderately sized, maybe not as big as I would have expected for a game like this, but they are incredibly dense. So many rooms, so many interactions squeezed into a moderate sized space. Yeah, they are fairly big and give you space to move around, but there are so many things crammed into the level. I am so impressed. I can imagine the design task of having to create these levels and put things that the player is going to need in an appropriate spot to increase or decrease the challenge level. And I'm noticing this and kind of finding where they've placed everything relative to other things. I can see that they've got some pretty talented level designers on this team. For example, in the first level, Paris, everywhere you look pretty much, there's going to be a closet or bin for you to hide the unconscious bodies of the NPCs who you've targeted. But in the last level, there's very few. You're going to have to maybe drag the bodies from room to room looking for a closet or somewhere to hide in. Often putting you in situations where you've knocked somebody out and you have to drag their body past a window or something where people are clearly going to see you. forcing you to improvise and change up your tactics. I think maybe my one and only gripe with this Hitman game is the way that they allow you to track opportunities and use intel. It makes sense that as you progress through the level, you're going to see objects and pick up pieces of information that allow you to gain access to new opportunities. For example, if you get the fireworks schedule, you know that, oh, I need to get the fireworks thing so I can trigger it, and then maybe I could shoot a gun and people won't notice. That type of information is very valuable to the player, and finding it is rewarding and feels great. Now, the drawback to this is, at lower difficulty levels, the game allows you to track each of these opportunities. You can pick which way you want to kill your target, and it will show you waypoints on how to get there and what you need to do. Yes, this is helpful for beginner players, but the way they introduce you to the game, by the time you're good, it doesn't make any sense to have this in the game. I found it took away from the satisfaction of finding these opportunities myself, when if I just overheard a conversation, I could track that opportunity and it would guide me through it holding my hand all the way. The reason tracking these opportunities is not so great for me is because how well they've managed to teach you as a player what you need to do. The first two levels teach you everything you need to know through your handler in your ear and just through gameplay and button prompts. I found that after I'd finished the first two tutorial levels of the game, which, by the way, there weren't many text pop-ups or even somebody telling you what to do. They kind of let you explore and work your way into the game yourself, discovering the controls, discovering the ways to kill people, discovering the ways to hide the bodies, work your way around, get costumes, everything on your own at your own pace. By the time I was done that, I was feeling very comfortable to move on to the next levels. I think maybe just a small thing that I'm also a little bit disappointed about this game is that my favorite times playing through the level were the first times. Working my way through the level, discovering intel, discovering how I should do things, and then when something went wrong, which it definitely did, I could improvise and try to find a new way around it and still get my job done. Those were the funnest and most tense parts of the gameplay for me. But when you repeat the levels over and over again, you know where everything is, the stakes are much lower, you can just restart the mission, replan things, and go from there. Having said that, there are a lot of different ways to take out your targets, some harder than others, so replaying a level to try to get a more difficult takedown than you did the previous round is also a lot of fun and kind of gives you a reward for playing the level more because you know it much better and you can up your score by quickly accessing things that you've been to before. Overall, I'm very glad that I chose this game to enter the Hitman franchise. I know maybe I'm a bit late, but I was so satisfied with my experience playing through this game. I'll probably go play it some more as well to discover some of the things I haven't yet. But you can really see the care and dedication that the designers and developers behind this game put into it to really make it an exciting and compelling experience for the player. So, for that reason, my final verdict for Hitman is a 9 out of 10. An excellent game. I think if there had been a little bit more chances for me to experience levels in a new way again, rather than replaying them, this game would be a legendary game, hands down. But because of the repetitive nature, it's not bad, but it's maybe just holding it back from being a perfect game. Well, that'll do it for Hitman. I gotta thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy these videos, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, or maybe leave a like or comment with some of your thoughts. I really appreciate it. But thank you again so much for watching and sticking all the way through this video. We hope to see you next time on Yes Guy Gaming.